Are you looking for the best mechanical keyboard switches? In this video we will look at some of the best mechanical keyboard switches. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Akko V3 Cream Blue Pro. For a budget tactile option, we recommend the Akko V3 Cream Blue Pro switches. These are medium-weight tactile switches that introduce a couple of small but impactful improvements over Akko's previous generation cream blue switches. These now boast a dust-proof stem cover that lends better stability while typing, and they come pre-lubed from the factory, which makes these switches fairly smooth feeling right out of the box and a good choice if you're looking for a laid-back build without needing to worry about home lubing. These switches are also on the louder sound, and they're noticeably a bit higher pitched compared to many tactile options, which typically aim to produce a more resonant sound like the Gazu Boba U4T, 62G, switches above. If you're interested in taking the time to lube these yourself, you can improve the smoothness a bit and can also round out some of the higher pitched, tappy notes in the sound profile. Akko V3 Generation Pro switches, our creamy switches now feature alloy copper and palladium gold contact, which provide better conductivity, stability, and durability. With dust-proof stem and 5-pin, Akko V3 Generation Pro cream switches are designed to bring a better stability typing experience. Number 2. Gateron Ink Black V2. The best linear switches we recommend for most people are the Gateron Ink Black V2. These switches are an enduring favorite among custom keyboard enthusiasts, and it's not hard to understand why. Much of what draws people to linear switches is their completely fluid actuation feel, and these switches are some of the smoothest switches you can find right out of the box. They also have a much admired sound profile that's quite deep and rich but on the quieter side, making these a great option if you're looking to avoid bothering those around you. The standout weakness these switches are known for is they tend to be a bit wobbly to type on despite having a 5-pin design, which typically adds stability. Thankfully, you can easily add switch films when building your board, which go a long way in addressing the stability issues and really can elevate the switch's overall typing experience. Gateron Ink V2 series switches new upgraded enhanced pins version. The Gateron Ink switches feature a transparent smoky housing. Switch is very smooth and has little spring crunch. Gateron Ink Black switches, linear switch, 5-pin, support 2-pin or 4-pin LED lights, and RGB/SMD lights that do not protrude from the PCB surface. INK series switches focus on enhancing the linear and paragraph switch feel, bringing a more perfect and delicate striking experience. Number 3. Gateron G Pro Yellow. For a linear switch at a budget price point, we recommend the Gateron G Pro Yellow switches. Another long-standing favorite in keyboard building circles, Gateron's yellow switches come in a dizzying variety of different lineups, families, and versions. You may come across names like Yellow Ink, Yellow Cap V2, KS8 Yellow, and more. Just know that the differences between all of these models are minor, mostly related to different housing colors or finishes and tiny changes in geometry that tweak typing feel and sound signatures one way or another. That said, they're all built on the same basic characteristics, which include lightweight actuation, great smoothness, and a quiet but deep and pleasant sound profile. We recommend the G Pro Yellow switches because they're one of the most recent versions made from new molds with tighter tolerances for their stems and housings. Also, critically, these switches are pre-lubed from the factory, making them a great no-fuss pick that you can drop into your budget build without needing to lube them yourself. Gateron G Pro Pre-Lubed Series Switches. Gateron G Pro switches is pre-lubed from the factory whose tactile feeling is much more smooth. Gateron G Yellow Pro Switch 3-pin linear switch operating force 50 ± 15 GF. Compatible with Cherry MX switch, suitable for most mechanical keyboards. Support 2-pin 3mm round light, 4-pin RGB light, SMD RGB light. Number 4. Kailh Box Jade. For clicky devotees, we recommend the Kailh Box Jade switches. Note that the pricing for these switches can really depend on how many switches you're buying at a time, but we recommend shopping around as they're at their best value for around $0.50 per switch. These switches have a snappy tactile action and a click bar design that creates a loud and deeply resonant click on the downstroke as well as the upstroke. These switches also have a dust-proof stem design, providing good stability to the overall switch system. While these sound and feel great out of the box, lubing them yourself can dampen some of the switch's ping and higher-pitched notes. Be sure to note that these switches are also decidedly heavy feeling. While this is a major reason why some people adore these switches, they won't be for everyone. If you're concerned about your fingers tiring out, you may want to check out the noticeably lighter feeling Kailh Box White V2 switches, our best budget clicky pick below. Kailh Box Jade switch, operating force, 50 GF, plus or minus 10 GF, tactile force, 55 GF, plus or minus 10 GF, pre-travel, 1.8 mm, plus or minus 0.3 mm, pressure point, 1.7 mm, total travel, 3.6 mm, plus or minus 0.3 mm, reset point, 1.8 mm. Easy to use. Utilizing the already popular Cherry MX form, Kailh switches provide an easy transition so you don't have to let go of your existing keycap collection. The MX-compatible stems provide a secure fit for any keycaps, PCBs, or plates you might want to assemble. Number 5. Kailh Box White V2. For a more budget-friendly clicky option, we recommend the Kailh Box White V2 switches. These switches are noticeably lighter feeling than many clicky switches, including the Kailh Box Jade ones above. They offer up a crisp actuation with solid tactile feedback, and like other box design models, they have a dust-proof perimeter stem that adds a bit of overall typing stability. Their typically long spring length also lends a more active and responsive feeling to the return travel. Altogether, these switches are a great choice if you admire the clicky sound profile but are looking to steer clear of the heavier feeling most clicky switches are known for. They come pre-lubed from the factory as well, so it isn't necessary to open them up and lube them yourself if you'd prefer not to. This link is only the shaft and switches for mechanical keyboard Box V2 as upgraded on the material and structure which get better tactile feeling. It can only be used with SMD LED, can't use switch LED. All box switches in our stock or new edition won't break GMK keycap. This switch is IP56 waterproof and dirtproof, has used 18K gold crosspoint technology which makes press feeling better. It can be compatible with 2x3x4 mm LED and 1.8 mm LED, however need to solder LED to PCB at first then.